I mean, the thing that happened with this team is that their four best hitters, Bush, Suzuki, Tucker, and PCA, all went pretty cold for an extended stretch. I mean, Seiya went without a homer for 38 games.
It's incredible.
Pete in the second half really slowed down. Bush finished strong, and Seiya finished strong. And again, the other problem with it is this. At the beginning of the year, they were, for a good chunk of the season, they were leading the majors in runs per game. And if you sit there and, just do like a meditative deep breath for a few moments and think about, okay, let's look at this lineup. Do you really think that this lineup is a lineup that you would expect to lead the majors in runs per game?
What is not happening with the Cubs, other than the obvious of they're like the starting pitching isn't holding a lead, and then the bats have gone cold after the initial home runs?
Yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I would say that's kind of it right there. So drive safe, everybody. Take care.
Good night.
Look, I think, look, for this team, I think they're pretty evenly matched with the Brewers, to be honest. But I think for this team to make the type of push that everybody's hoping for, I have a hard time imagining that it doesn't include the offense looking more like the offense of the first 3 months, and we haven't really seen that. And this Brewers offense is not the Padres. As much as you want to sit there and look at Machado and Tatis and those guys and think, man, that's a really good lineup, this is a better offense. I mean, this team scored the third most runs per game in the majors this year, the Brewers did. So there's that. And then, look, the Cubs have good, solid starting pitching, but we're at the end of a long season, and they're asking guys who, look, whatever you want to think on Boyd, he's had a phenomenal year, but, I mean, he hasn't pitched this many innings in a long time. So you're asking guys to do stuff that they're not used to doing. It's and it's 2 games. You know what I mean? Like in the middle of the season, I don't think you'd think a ton about it, or maybe we would, but I mean, I wouldn't. But now they're on the brink of elimination.
Do you think, Boog, it's fair to say that, like, if you looked at these teams and try to evaluate them, that the individual pieces may be more impressive here on the north side?
Yes.
But the Brewers function as a team better than the Cubs more times than not.
They don't. I am. Look, I will just give you my take on that. I think that this is an individual sport that masquerades as a team sport. I really believe that. I think more than any other sport. I just still think, I'll say it again, I think this is an individual sport that masquerades as a team sport. It is not like basketball. It is not like football. It is not like hockey. Are there elements of team play? Sure, but I just think we get into these narrative-based things, and it's why we like the sacrifice bunt so much, because it feels like it's team, and he's giving himself up for the team. The areas where I see team play factor more would be on the defensive side, and the Cubs have not played good defense in 2 games. The Cubs have a great defense. It just hasn't happened in the last 2 games. In terms of the rest of it, look, they're being, at least in terms of last night's game, I should say, they were outslugged by a team that doesn't normally slug. So, I understand, Waddle, what you're getting at, but I would give you my answer is no, I don't. I think that ultimately it's a team that is athletic and they're fast, and they make good contact. I don't think they're any more fundamentally sound or team-oriented than the Cubs.
I look at even the strikeout totals. The Brewers struck out 5 times. The Cubs struck out 11 times. And strikeouts have been an issue with this Cubs team. They've struck out 58 times in 5 postseason games. Is that just part of that's who they are?
No, because it's not who they are.
Right.
The Cubs this year, as a team, were not a high strikeout team. The Cubs this year, as a group, were among the 5 lowest strikeout teams in the majors and among the 5 lowest swing and miss rate teams in the majors. So, I mean, it's one of the things that made this a really good offense is that they don't, as a general rule, they are well above average, very good in terms of how much contact they make. That has not been happening in the playoffs, and I don't know what to tell you. But in terms of, I'm sorry, over 162 game season, when you're looking at, what the Cubs are good at and what they're not good at, for sure, one of the things the Cubs are really good at is the fact that they slug, and relatively speaking, they make contact.
Boog Sciambi joining us. It's Waddle and Silvy on ESPN 1000. Boog, you're here. You're the voice of the Cubs, so you know this. You're not flying at 30,000 feet. You followed the Tucker season this year. I mean, people were so excited at the beginning. They finally got that dude in the middle of the order, early in the order, whether he's batting second or third when he was going well. And, it started, hey, do the Cubs have $400 million to pay Tucker? And then he started hitting up even more, and we're like, is it going to take $500 million? And then he's had an injury, a finger injury, followed by the calf injury, followed by a lack of production. Where do you believe this is going to go, both for the Cubs and Tucker, and how the league will view paying Kyle Tucker?
That's a great question. We've all swung on it, haven't we? I think he's an elite level hitter, and he's just had these 2 massive swings, I mean, a 930 OPS for the first basically 3 months plus a week or so of the season. And then went in the tank. And it was weird because the injury that I think probably did affect him in some way took place a month before his numbers started going in the tank.
Right.
And so it's been an odd year. I mean, gosh, he had that stretch where it was just nothing but ground outs to second and ground outs to first. I don't know where it'll end up playing out. I do think, I think as an organization, there's still scarring from the Jason Hayward contract. And I don't know, even if he had put up a 930 the whole year, I don't know how real it would have been that the Cubs, would have looked to be one of the teams in the mix for that. I do think, now that, I'm sure there are some people questioning, okay, so where is he? So maybe he's not, quite in the top 5 hitters in the sport type realm. But look, if you check out his track record and you compare him with Guerrero, he should be getting what Guerrero gets. But I don't think that's happening. That's not happening. And if you were to ask me one way or the other, do I think the Cubs will sign him? I think probably not.
Yeah. We're with you.
I think the difference between Vladdy and Tucker recently has been availability, right? I mean, Vladdy's played 159 games in 2024, and when he played 156 this year, and Kyle hasn't been available in either season to that degree.
It's completely fair.
Yeah.
And Vladdy's, delivering in the postseason. I mean, look, it's just such a weird sport. I don't know, and it's part of the beauty of the sport is you just don't have Kobe Bryant level talent that averages 26 on 50% shooting just have a random year where they average 18 on 42%. And in baseball, that happens. Like that level of player, it can happen just randomly, the random bad year. And then in football, it's just so hard. I mean, look, you need a good quarterback, but then think about how we watch the game. I mean, even the most expert of football fans, like nobody actually watches the offensive line. Everybody watches the ball. Where is the ball going? So you're not capable in real time of saying exactly, okay, this guy's good, but he's getting help from this guy and this guy, and how do you separate? Like, isolating performance in baseball is easier than in the other sports. That's one of the things that I like about it. But there's also a randomness to it that is confounding and confusing. And at times we all want reasons, and at times you're going to have to just punt on that and say, I'm not sure.
Do you connect the dots between Tucker's year and like how everybody else around him has kind of cooled at the same time, Boog, or do you not connect those dots?
No, I don't. I definitely
because
do
you
not.
hear people say all the time that, this offense goes as Tucker goes.
Nope. No. Okay. No, and I feel strongly about that.
That's where the individual thing comes in.
Just being around these guys, like, I don't buy it, and I just don't think that's it. I mean, the thing that happened with this team is that their four best hitters, Bush, Suzuki, Tucker, and PCA, all went pretty cold for an extended stretch. I mean, Seiya went without a homer for 38 games.
It's incredible.
Pete in the second half really slowed down. Bush finished strong, and Seiya finished strong. And again, the other problem with it is this. At the beginning of the year, they were, for a good chunk of the season, they were leading the majors in runs per game. And if you sit there and, just do like a meditative deep breath for a few moments and think about, okay, let's look at this lineup. Do you really think that this lineup is a lineup that you would expect to lead the majors in runs per game? And the answer is no. It's a very good lineup. But to think that they were going to do that, so the point being, we weren't sitting there. We got it stuck in our head a little bit that the team that was leading the majors in runs per game, that's who they were. And they probably weren't that either.
Who is PCA?
I don't think we know that yet. I don't. But I'm in, is what I would tell you.
And
that kid will work hard. He wants it. I don't know. I would tell you the one thing he has shown is that there's way more slug in there than anybody, and I think including him, really had any idea. Craig Counsell calls him the best defender in the world. I think that's accurate. I'm not sure what he is yet offensively, but I want him. I'll take him, and I think it's going to be really good.
And credit to you. It was, I want to say, in June when things were still going well. We had you on for like our once every 6 week talk with you, and we always appreciate your time. You said to us, look, I love this kid. This kid is great. This kid is different than you see on the screen. He's so introspective and he's got thoughts. But you said to us then, I wish he would go easier on himself with the helmet and bat throwing. And I said, I go, I like the passion. So I kind of dismissed it a little, Boog, and then I would watch another game, and I'd see it again, and I'd see it again, and I go, ooh, Boog's onto something here. How does he get that out of his head where to go be kinder to himself, because it is the ultimate failure game, and he needs to give himself a break in some of these times, and he may be doing himself more harm?
I mean, look, that's completely observational by me, so I don't know, the vast majority of what's going on inside of him. I know he just really wants it. There's an argument to be made that letting it out as opposed to letting it build is a good thing. But, gosh, it's hard at times. It's hard for him to watch. You know, he grounds out to second base like, hey, man, everything's going to be fine. You know, like it's going to be okay. Like you're pretty awesome. So it's hard. It's hard. I mean, but holy cow, I love how, I mean, I don't think the twitchy stuff is what jumps out, that he's fast and he's amazing with the glove, but I think he wants to be great at just a pretty incredible level. And again, that's what the elite of the elite have, that, you know, the average human can't totally relate to. They may even think they can, you know, it's like the average person, like Tom, you know, the average person, like even somebody who's like pretty good, like you think you're competitive. Like Waddle, you played with dudes like who are competitive in a way that it's like, what's wrong with you?
Rip your face off.
Harbaugh,
yeah,
right?
Jim Harbaugh is a great example. Yeah, no doubt.
It's not. I will tell you this: like, if take it the next level, I also think this, to take the conversation in a different direction. But I watch those guys. It makes me a little sad because, like, man, and I'll say this, like, with whether it was Michael or Kobe or some of those guys who are so addicted to winning, man, they never come across as peaceful.
Right.
They never
Enjoy
come
the
across
ride.
like, what did you win?
Yeah.
Like, if you're not going to enjoy the spoils of winning and sit in it, and all you're going to do is suffer the losing and turn it into, I don't understand what the point is.
It's wild. Hey, before we let you go, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you more about the Brewers. I mean, obviously the Cubs, if they want to get to the top of the mountain for the years to come, they're going to have to get through them, at least in the division. Why haven't the Brewers had more success in the postseason, Boog? And is this the year they get through?
Because it's random and it's short, is what I would say. It is. Look, it's the nature of the sport. It's like, you know, when you sit there, look, so for the Braves, we used to talk about the Braves all the time, and they had that 14-year stretch where they got to the playoffs and they won once. But what's funny is you think about the Yankees, and the Yankees won those years, 96, 98, 99, 2000. But then, and this is the thing, because it happened, it gets dismissed. But then the Yankees went to the playoffs in 01, 02, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, didn't get there in 08, and then finally won in 09. But my point is, nobody sat there when the Yankees are getting there and getting bounced by the Angels in the first round and saying, God, what's wrong with them? There's just a randomness to it. There's so many teams you could throw into a best 2 out of 3, which is what the Brewers have lost the last couple of years. So I just think that there's a randomness to it. Look, there's even a randomness to the regular season, because for as good an organization as they have, there is not a person inside that organization that thought they were going to win 97 games. Not a single person, I promise you.